Hello, and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. My name's Anne and I live in Worcestershire in the middle of England. Today is Monday the 11th of July and it's very warm. It's very hot here in the UK generally. I believe it's too hot to do anything almost. It's just over a couple of weeks since I podcast, so here I am again. I'm out tomorrow, which I'll tell you about in a little while, but generally speaking, I'm just hiding away because I don't cope with the heat very well. We've got a fan, but all that does is move the warm air. Tom's put the gazebo up today next to the house, and I was sat outside earlier, but it got a bit too sticky to knit, so I came in and I decided to podcast. Well, that was my intention anyway today. So welcome back to any long-standing subscribers, and if you're new, then welcome again. I hope you'll continue to watch, to take part in the make-alongs if you want to. It's not compulsory. To chat with me, chat with others, etc, etc. I tend to follow a similar format to what appears to work for crafting type podcasts, because if I didn't, then I'd just waffle all the time. So we have a plan. I've written out things I want to say, show you, so hopefully I don't forget anything, because you know what I'm like. So yes, welcome back. Let's get the admin out the way first. We have got 2 make-alongs running in the No Excuses podcast, either on Instagram, Ravelry, or via email. The first one is year-long, and that is something new in 22. And I will put the hashtag on the screen as well as down below. And everything else I talk about is linked down below as well. If I forget something, give me a shout. Excuse me. And the second one is the bob-along. The bob-along was the brainchild of Glenda. Hello, Glenda. And we're making anything you want, as long as it's bigger than, a dishcloth, basically. And that will end in the end of September, but it's called a bob-along, and you can make anything. But if you make something with bobbles in or scraps, you get an extra entry for each of those items. But please remind me when you write to me that it has got one or the other in. I can usually tell with bobbles, but you can't always tell with scraps, because it could be self-striping yarn, it could be big scraps, little scraps. So yeah, let me know. All entries are encouraged and welcomed, and it doesn't have to be knitting either. It can be crochet, it can be something you make. It might have bobbles in, I'm not in the sort of, I don't want to make strict rules, basically. Well, the disappointing thing is, one of the rare occasions is I'm not wearing something that I've made today. I do try to make an effort to wear something that's hand knit where I can, because I have enough items to do that. So you'll see garments on me that I've shown you before, but today it's just too warm. And you know what, I haven't really got anything thin enough apart from the Runway tee, which I'll show you in a minute, and I think I'd prefer to wear that with something underneath it anyway. And the t-shirt's just so much more comfortable. So today's offering is a pale blue cotton traders t-shirt. They're very good value. They go up to huge sizes. This is a unisex one, and I've got lipstick on me. I don't know if you'll see that. I shouldn't really tell you because you probably haven't noticed. Might be looking for it now. Yeah, this is the unisex range, so they're not. I think their women's cut is a bit sort of narrower, and I don't know whether they do a men's one as well. I might do, but anyway, I've got about 4 of these, and I live in them in the summer, especially when it's really, really warm, and they wash and dry very, very easily. So yeah, too hot for real clothes, not handmade clothes. But let's get into the podcast for real. I have finished something. I've only finished one thing this time, and that is the long-suffering Runway tea. And here it is. I will put a photograph up of me wearing it. I wore it out to see the tenor girls the other night. And this is a pattern by, I always forget her name wrong. I told you that last time, didn't I? Stella Ackroyd. What do I call it? Sheila for some reason. And it is a very plain, it's a very simple top, really. Got minimal shaping. And what I did, the pattern, the original pattern's done in 2 colours, and it might be the putty and the grey. This is the grey colour you see there, and the bronze green, I think, on the original photograph of the pattern. I'm not sure. When I've added the eau de Nil, because I had it and I didn't want big fat wide stripes. The original pattern has got eyelets in between the stripes, and I didn't put those in either. So basically I used the measurements for my stitch count. I used a 3mm needle, which is why it took me forever. I think you can class this as either a heavy lace weight or a light fingering. I knitted to what I thought would be a good length to the underarms, but I now realise when I put it on that it's probably a bit long, more like a tunic on me. But as my mother says, it hides your belly, so that's no bad thing, is it? I did the sleeves slightly differently because there are short rows that you can see at the top, and the main tee is knitted in the round from the bottom up, and the sleeves are picked up and knitted down to the cuff. So I just did that, and then as I got towards, once I got to the armhole, I decreased the width of the stitches, and then I got fed up again, and I did, you can just about see it, rib at the top, 2x2 rib. And do you know what? It sits perfectly on the neck. Whether that will grow, I don't know, but it's been washed and worn once. I only wore it for about 4 hours, I think. So I've put it back in the drawer for now. I didn't want to hang it because I thought it might just stretch even more. I don't want it to stretch, but linen can be renowned for it. It's not very soft yet, but then I haven't ironed it, and I could have ironed it, but I didn't want it to stretch. So overall, I'd say I was pleased with it. Would I knit another one? Not likely, not on 3mm needles. I think the pattern was reasonably good. Bit of confusion sometimes where, I think I mentioned last time, there's no sort of real demarcation where the front starts, for instance. It's just tacked on the end of cast off at the back and start the front, and I thought that was a bit strange. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to wear. I wore it with a vest top, which is why I didn't want to put it on today. I didn't want 2 layers on today. It says about 26, 27 degrees in our lounge at the moment. So I'm sat in the back room. The sun's gone over the bung. The patio door's open. But there's no breeze today, so although we've got the front windows open, there's no sort of throughput of air like we had the other day. But yeah, I digress again. Yeah, I'm pleased with it, because sometimes you make something, especially something that's taken you a long time, and then you decide you don't really like it, you know, and we've all been there. Now, if you watch Leslie's podcast from a couple of months ago, when she went through her knits and decided you know, which ones she liked, and there was a few that she didn't wear for a variety of reasons, and that's a really interesting podcast because I could see myself what she was saying about her knits. I was going like, yeah, I totally understand, and I did the same. I think we all do. You can get carried away with the pattern of the moment. You can get carried away with something you've seen that looks good on somebody else, but I personally haven't considered whether it'll suit me. My view of what suits me has changed dramatically in the last few years. I would wear, it's like, I'm itching. I would wear anything, more or less. Not palazzo pants, not when I'm so short, but now I know that really plain trousers, and you know, if I want any patterning, it should be up here, not over my belly and things like that. I don't know whether it's hopefully or what, but I'm itching. I think it's podcasting. Mum says I yawn every time I talk to her on the phone, and I'm thinking that I itch, excuse me, when I start podcasting, because I do know that I'm a face toucher, and I'm just getting worse. Oh, you don't come here for the professionalism. I know you don't. You told me you don't. That's fine. So that's the Runway tea, and I'd give that. Let's see. Let's mark the thing. Stop touching your hand, please. The Runway tea. I'd give it 7 out of 10 because it's wearable, and now it's finished. I like it, but I didn't enjoy knitting it really. Hear noise in the background. Tommy's making us some bomb cakes. We've decided that, generally speaking, we're not going to cook this week. Well, I say we. I don't do any cooking. We're going to eat salads and a sandwich type tea most nights. Something around that ilk, because the weather's set to get warmer and warmer and warmer. So that's the only finished thing I've got. And then I like to work on 2 things at once. So I have something in the daytime when I'm here, or I'm sat outside in the summer, and then when I'm watching the telly with Tom in the evening, I'll have another project to work on. Something easy that doesn't involve, you know, picking up the pattern all the time. But at the moment I've got 3 with the possibility of maybe casting on or starting a 4th project. So I'm going to go through them with you. The first thing I've got, I've made some bags, and this is boutique that I've had a while, which I love, and I've put a zip in it, and amazingly enough the zip works. It's self-lined with Superliner, it's called, by Empress Mills, which is a cotton with a wadding on it that's stuck to it, so it self-lines your bags. I do need to clean out I made 3 bags in all, and I sent 2 of them off to somebody as a part of a prize package for a mail that they're doing, and you'll possibly see them, but I won't say anything because I don't want to spoil the surprise. They yeah, and the boutique was quite nice to work with actually. It's quite a stiff cotton even though it's been washed. I have had, if I find a photograph of the skein, I have had this yarn in my stash for a while now, I think since 17. And you can see it's gold, browns and a hint of purple. Absolutely luscious. And it's a laceweight by Lamington Lass. I bought it off Etsy. And I've got a few of her skeins because she does some beautiful colours. I came across it in the drawer. I'd got it out the loft, and I thought I'll just knit it up. You know, it's going to waste. It's lovely colours, sort of colours I'd wear because it's autumnal. And then I thought, why am I knitting a laceweight shawl when I've got other things to do? But that, you know, there is no rhyme nor reason. So I cast on. I tried a few different things. So I decided to cast on. And I started an asymmetric shawl, and I'm not mad on them, to wear. And then I started a couple of triangular shawls, tried to put my own pattern in, didn't work. And then I tried to make this shawl by Annika and Alice, and it's got like it's a half hexagon, so it's got, you know, when you've got a triangular shawl, you've got a centre spine. Well, this has got 2 spines, so you end up with 3 sort of separate leaves to the shawl. And it's got this beautiful Estonia style lace in it. And I got this at the Knitter magazine when you could get it from the library, and I could print the pages as PDFs. Can't do that anymore. So, you know, if I want the patterns, I've got to buy the whole magazine. So, anyway, I digress, as usual. What I found was, I'll put the name of that shawl on the screen, but what I found was that the lace wasn't showing up. And I don't know why. I'm not doing very well with lace recently. It's as if, you know, I've been knitting lace from an early age, and I know about compensating if you decrease, you know, this and the other. And usually I'm fine with them, and that looks like a reasonably easy lace. But I kept going wrong with my stitch count. I even put stitch markers in, which is something I never do. But what I found was one of the issues was that you cannot see the pattern coming up in the knitted fabric. And I thought, I'm not sitting here doing all this, you know, like I don't know how many rows of chart it was, a lot. And then there was another chart as the shawl got bigger. I think the actual motifs might have got a little bit bigger each. And I thought, I'm not doing this because it's not going to show up, and I've just put all this effort in and it's not going to show at all. So in the end, I did what I sort of wanted to do at the back of my mind, and I cast on myself. I tried a 3mm needle, which was the one I used for the Runway I, and that was a light fingering. And this is a 2 point. Let's have a look. Sorry, I think. You know, I can't read these things anymore. This is a 2.5, so it's quite fine, but I like the fabric it's making. So this is my asymmetric shawl, and I'll have to take some photographs of it flat because it's not showing up, but I'll try and show you. What I'm doing is I'm doing panels, and then I'm separating the panels out. Oh dear me. With a slip stitch. Can you see that slip stitch down the centre there? So I've got garter here, and then I've got stocking stitch panel there, and then I've got another slip stitch there, which involves twisting 2 stitches as well, twisting and slipping, not on the same row. And then I've got another garter panel, and now I'm into the lace. And I'm going to, each of these panels are 20 stitches wide. And of course the nature of asymmetric is you, with this particular method I'm using, I'm increasing 1 stitch for every 2 rows. So you cast on every row at the start, and then you decrease either at the end of the row on here or the beginning of the second row. And I've knitted through the back loop on there, on the second, on my return row, so I've got a little bit of an edge there, and then I've got I do a yarn over at the end of that row, and then I knit front and back into the edge on there. You can't really see it, but I'm not very good at holding things up. I should take some photographs when the sun's gone somewhere and see if I can get some decent pictures of the knitting itself. Feels gorgeous. This is alpaca, silk and cashmere. Now I've got a shawl in this that I knitted a little while ago. Can't remember the name of the shawl, but it's beautiful, different colours. But yeah, it feels so soft. Now my dilemma is I've got 800 meters in the 100 grams, and you can see I've still got a fair amount left there. So I'm thinking I could knit a third, get to the width of whatever that is, and then maintain the width, and then use the next third to decrease back down. But the nature of an asymmetric is you've got this long bit here, but actually when you cast off, and it's going to be longer than that, you've got that edge as well. So you really have a weird looking triangle, as you know. So I don't think I need to do all that jiggery pokery with the weighing it, etc, etc. And I'm thinking of fancying myself some bobbles at the end, or maybe a bobble panel. But yeah, these panels are all alternate garter. I've got stocking stitch because I prefer my shawls to be reversible where possible, but I thought no, I'll put a 20 stitch panel of stocking stitch, then some garter again, and now just a yarn over and knit to the back loop, lace effect eyelets, whatever you want to call them, and that's going to be 40 stitches wide so that it shows up better. And of course because I'm doing it on quite a tight gauge, it's only going to be big enough to sit around the neck type of thing, which is fine. It's going to be useful. So that's the first thing I've cast on, and I'm finding that fairly addictive because I want to get to the next panel and the next panel. So I'm keeping that in my batik bag because the colours are ish. Okay, I think my needles actually, they're fixed circulars, and I think they're higher steels. I may stand corrected on that. The next thing I'm working on is my mother-in-law's cardigan for Christmas. I know. Well, it's Christmas in July, isn't it? Everybody keeps talking about it. So that's what I'm doing. And I'll just show it you knitted up. This is the Woolcraft that I showed you last month. Shetland chunky tweed. Oh, that's looking better, look. Without the lights on it, it looks more purple. Lilac-y, doesn't it, Ginny? So this is 77% acrylic, 20% wool, 3% viscose, which I think are the knops, which I keep pulling out. A lot of them. They look like they're hanging out. But that's the finished fabric, and this is knit on a 6mm needle. So yesterday I did a whole sleeve. And I've done the back, and I've just cast on for the second sleeve. I thought I'd do the big items first. I ordered 500 grams. I think that should be plenty. And I'm thinking, they've got pockets, you know, lined pockets where you not patch, you integrate them. But I'm thinking putting a pattern on the front, or doing perhaps a different border. I might crochet the border on if I've got on the button band, if I've got enough yarn left. I'll put the name of the pattern because yet again I haven't looked that up. I don't think it says it on here. It's a King Cole pattern, and I will put the name of it on the screen and in the link below. I downloaded the pattern from Wool Warehouse last year when I bought it. Make a note that the pattern, I need the pattern. Okay, and I'm keeping that in my bag from Big Back Room, and this is a smaller bag that came with the lovely denim chambray one that I've got my hammer sweater in. So that's very colourful. I do like these colours together. So that's the second item. And then third, which is I'm doing at night, and I'm not making very good progress on it because I keep falling asleep. Oh. And excuse me, rattling, I haven't put this in project bag. I haven't got very far with it. This is just so many rows of ribs so far, and stocking stitch on top of it. I'm using some bamboos, higher bamboos, 3.75, and this is the Stylecraft Naturals. This is the pumice colourway, and it's bamboo and cotton. And I bought this last year. I've got the green celery I showed you last time. I've got the green celery one as well, which I'm hopefully going to do the Celeste jumper in by Sewing Orland, or Celeste Tea. So I think that looks quite nice. The question is, will it make me look more pink? Because my colour is quite high, and I'm hoping that it's not a bright enough pink, and I'm hoping it suits me. I've worn similar ones. Now with regard to pattern for that, I've got this book, which is the Rowan Summer Light DK, and I've had it a while. Now that pattern on the front, I think is the Cornwallis pattern, and it was very popular at the time because yeah, it's nice. It looks like a nice easy pattern. Now there's some very nice things. I'll show you the patterns in here. We've got the time, haven't we? This is Lessing. They're all ladies, not lady, they're all people of note, romantic names. Authors, I think, actually. That's the Ackroyd jumper. Presumably, as in Margaret. Cartland. It's a V-neck jumper. I like the smocking stitch on that. This is Olcott. I've got button placket down the front. This one looks to me like it's going to twist a bit. Or is it the way she's standing? I'm not sure. I keep meaning to do a review of the two big books that I've got, but I'll have to take photographs of me sat down. When we've got some good light and it's a bit cooler outside, I'll do that in the not too distant future. This one is Crompton, and that's got 3 colours in it. It's got a deep rib. I'm not so keen on that. It would look, I don't like that colour combination, to be honest. I think it would look much nicer. This one appeals to me, but I haven't made it, and it's also in 3 colours. And this is Mitford, as in Nancy and all her sisters. Watching a programme about the Mitfords the other day, actually, on YouTube. Don't know whether I've read anything with her. This is Bovary. And that's got like a twist or a tuck at the bottom, and it's like a reversed stocking stitch rib on it. It's a bit loose, some of these. I'll go say that, right? And then this is Hildegard. That's a beautiful little cardigan, and that it's like a bolero or bolero, however you want to pronounce it. I think this book's still available. I'm not sure. I hope it is, after all this effort of me holding it up to you. Now, this was one of them that I considered making, and this is Rossetti, and it's a little, again, it's a button placket, and it's just got a little bit of lace on it, on the yoke here. Short sleeves. Yeah, this is the Cornwallis, which is the one on the front. And that's very nice, very simple. Go away, bird. And then, I'll pass the one I'm going to make. This is Bronte. Again, it's, I'll show you that picture. There. It looks like a moss stitch and cable pattern up the front, moss stitch all over, which I would never do because it would drive me up the wall. But the pattern I've chosen is Mistral, which is this one, and I like the pattern on the front. It's quite detailed. You can see a little shot of it there. Now, it's got quite a wide neck on it, so I will be altering the neck. What I'll probably do is fit it and then maybe pick up stitches afterwards. And the other thing I really don't like, and you're going to think I'm stupid now, well, if you don't already, is if you can see on the edge of this pattern here, not so far from my finger, this edge here, is very reminiscent of Feather and Fan, and I have a serious aversion to that. And if I haven't told you why before, although I might keep it because it looks nice in the finished one, what I meant to say is I'm going to make this as a short sleeve summer top, because it's stocking stitch and it's only patterned at the front, and I can make short sleeves with it. The reason why I don't like Fan, I'm sure I've told you before, but I'm going to tell you again. I had some lovely mercerized cotton from Peyton's, and I made this cardigan that looked okay to me on the pattern, and I think it was a leaflet actually. Feather and Fun. It might have been a leaflet I'd had for a while, because I haven't got many leaflets left. A lot of mine, I think it's been probably about 10 years since I had leaflets, you know, when you go in wool shops and things, or ordering them from Wool Warehouse before you could download them. Excuse me. I've got orange squash and soda water, one of my favourite drinks. Anyway, and I made this pink feather and fan cardigan, and I wore it to work, and my friend Nikki, who was one of the tenor girls and it was my boss, said to me, "That looks like a bed jacket." I went, "Yeah, it does." I sort of knew that, but I think I wore it because I'd made it. And then I couldn't wait to get home and take it off. I don't think I could take it off. I don't know what I was wearing with it. So in the end, I took it straight down when I got home. I was mortified that I'd gone to work in a bed jacket. I mean, yeah, nobody cared. And instead, I used a very, very pretty yarn to knit up a plain cardigan with a very simple ladder pattern either side next to the border, through which I threaded ribbon, and then I made some crochet flowers to sit on the cuff, you know, on the back of each cuff. And apart from that, it was plain stocking stitch, the total opposite. But that experience has sort of traumatised me a little against feather and fan. But if I don't use, I want the full width of the pattern that's shown on here. And if I don't do that, then I've got to replace it with something else. So I'll say it's not quite a feather or fan, or old shale it's called as well, isn't it? So yeah, my aversion to that persists to this day. And I'm looking forward to making it. I need to put some more effort into it. Once Kath's cardigan's done, and that should be done by the end of the week, heat permitting, because you stick to your needles, then I'll crack on with this more, and I'll do it as a day exercise, because the shawl can be at night, although I need the light on because I can't see anything. So yeah, so that's what I've been working on. But something I put together just out of my reach, so bear with a sec. You know this obsession I've got with, sorry, start again. You know this obsession I've got with minis? Well, up until early this year, for about 12 months, last year and this year, I had the ombre minis from Vicky Brown Designs. It's not far from me actually. And I'll show you, I've got two bags. I think I stopped it when they looked like they were overlapping. Starting again. Oh, tipping them down the front of me. Always tipping stuff down the front of me. Well, that's those. I've separated them into two sort of colour areas. And those, the blues and the greens. So there's not a lot of red, or there's a little bit of yellow. But it's certainly, they're quite tonal together, which is fine, which is nice. What am I going to make? You know, I've got 50 grams. No, I haven't. I've got 100 grams times 13. I don't think I've got that much. I looked on her website, and the ones that I paid, the cost I paid, because she does 10 grams and 20, were for the 20 grams. So I suppose they do look like 20 grams, don't they? What I'm going to do, I might do a square blanket, and I'll put the needles in my trusty, in this little bag I made. Got my needles out, and I think these are 275s, because I didn't want it too loose. Again, you know, like a tighter gauge, and I've got plenty of yarn. And then I thought, no, actually I want to crochet it. So now I'm thinking, I don't want to be doing too much planning. And I'm thinking, do I do little squares, a bit like similar, like doing a crocheted version of the mitered blanket, square blanket, I suppose. Do I do little squares? And then I thought about, I looked on Angie's site, Yarn and Yarns, the other day, and excuse me while I just put this back, these lovely colours back, for the name of the yarn that I wrote down. I had a look to see what I could get from West Yorkshire Spinners to crochet, to join with. I didn't want grey or silver. I didn't want cream, because I've done one in, you know, with cream edging that went to my cousin. And I thought, well, these are lovely, lovely colours. So the one I was looking at was called, I thought I'd written it down, Blackcurrant Bomb, and I'll put a photograph of it up. And I thought, on the screen it looks like it might tone quite well with all those things, and it would make quite a vibrant, a bit of a take on a stained glass window type of thing, if you know what I mean. Instead of using black, I don't want to use black. So I might be ordering those to join all those up, and then I can just sit there to my heart's content, make a load of small squares, and then if I make all the squares, and then I can join them all, and because it's commercially dyed yarn, I don't have to worry too much about dye lot if I run out. Thought I'd order 3 balls and that should be plenty. So yeah, so I'm going to go, I think I might do that. Anybody got any other ideas as to what I can do with those beautiful colours of yeah, minis? They're mainly tonal, they're not variegated. There is a bit of variegation in some of them, but they're only to a similar colour to the next colour over, because they're ombre. There's the Huge Shift pattern by Knit Picks that looks rather nice. I don't think I've got enough for that, but I could do a mini version of it, I suppose, with the Blackcurrant Bomb in between. But I think that might detract too much from the pretty colours that I've got. I'd like them to stand out on their own, even if it's only for a couple of 2 each square or something. So yeah, if you've got any ideas or any blankets that are, I think I fancy a blanket rather than clothing. But if you can think of a pattern that you can recommend, let me know. Knitting or crochet, but I'm airing towards crochet because I've not got a crochet pattern on the needles at the moment. Hook. Okay, so that's all I've been working on, which is quite a lot for me. Now, incoming. Absolutely no yarn. It might be the first month ever. I know I must be poorly, but I've had no yarn this month at all. I lie, it's been 2 weeks, so it's not really the achievement that I make it out to be. Dear, I have ordered a large packet. You can see this behind me here, big package of brown paper that has got felt in from Paper and String. They had a big offer on, I think about 20% off or something. So I went and ordered some felt in order to make things for the stall. And I've also, off eBay, I ordered some little lobster claw keyring type thingies to attach my either amigurumi that I want to do, or little felt items. I want to have a go at felt because it looks like it's quite a nice material to work with, because it doesn't need hemming and you can play about with it. It can be cut into any shape, and there are a lot of templates available for me to make sort of related Christmas items or unicorns or whatever's popular at the moment to appeal to a range of different people. So when I went to open the package, but because I can't photograph it very well at the moment, I need to wait until the sun's gone down before I can go outside. I've charged the camera up, it's ready to go, but I prefer to keep to take photographs of my yarn and things on my proper camera rather than my phone. I don't know why. I think the colour's slightly better, but that might just be in my head. So yeah, I can't remember what I ordered apart from. I might have ordered a bit of ribbon as well. I mean, my mum's got a whole box full of ribbon, so I better not tell her that. I did come home actually, and I've got it on me, with some beautiful delicate lace that she gave me of daisies, and because I want to do these sort of landscape pincushion type things, then I think the lace daisies would look really nice on that. So I nicked that off her. Oh yeah, I'll take photographs and show you. And that's it. I've been very, very good at not buying things. However, I need to get organised. I say this every time. I've got lots of plans. I've got things to do. I'm discussing forward plans with things like doing a swap with a friend and talking to somebody else possibly about me making some bags with them. I shall say no more at the moment. Yeah, so really it's I forget things if I don't write them down, so I need to get my book out, my craft book, write it down, put some pictures in there, things I want to make, and do it. And instead I just pick up my knitting. So that's the end of the crafting. Well, got through that fairly quickly. Just nearly 3/4 of an hour. Where have I been last fortnight? Well, on the first Monday after I put the podcast up, I went to Evesham Valley again, but this time with Amanda and Wendy. I used to work with Amanda and Wendy. We had a nice time there, a few hours. We didn't get there till late, so we didn't leave till late, till nearly 5 o'clock. But we had a good natter, and we had a good walk round, went in the garden centre. They still didn't have the bamboo I want, so I think I'm going to have to order it online. Yeah, and a good time was had by all, I think, except Wendy, being Wendy, lost her prescription sunglasses, and after we left, because Amanda was in my car, she went and found them. She retraced her steps in the shops, and luckily they had her glasses. She's always leaving things behind. Nightmare. And then on the 1st of July, I went to the hospital with my mum, who had an appointment at the Worcester Royal, and we then went to Dunelm in Worcester, and I had the most delicious lemon cheesecake. Really, really nice. Bearing in mind I'm supposed to be cutting down. My husband's doing a really good job of cutting down. I can smell bread. He's making balm cakes for tea. Oh, that's just hit me. Yeah, lemon cheesecake. It had like bits of lemon soaked sponge in it. It was really, really nice. Not a huge piece, but you really didn't need very much. I'm looking for kitchen lights and maybe one in the lounge, although I'm thinking that I shouldn't really replace the light in the lounge until we have it repainted at some point in the future. And then we went into Home Sense and I bought these pens. So I'll show you. They're called Brunzel. Oh, I don't know. Brunynzell. I'll put it on the screen. Anyway, they were half price, so they are bush pens, one end, and they are fine tip the other. And they had 2 different lots of colourways with 6 in each. So me being me, bought a lot. So, bearing in mind I can't paint, draw, write, can't do calligraphy, anything, but I wanted them, so I bought them. I think they were £3 something for 6, so I thought that was fairly good. And I've just been playing with them today, But I won't show you because it's embarrassing that I can't draw. But I have fun. That's what matters. And then last Wednesday, went to tenor evening. I'd gone into town a couple of times, I think, to pick up prescriptions and things. And had a quick whiz round. I met Mum. Mum came in on the 145 and met me in our town centre, and we had a coffee and a quick whiz round. So that was nice. Then Wednesday went to tenor evening last week, and they went to Coke Brasserie because I'm not keen on Coke, but I didn't want to eat because my tummy was a bit, you know, it's the trouble with IBS. My tummy's mainly constant, but every now and again it has a blip, and it doesn't like the hot weather, that's for certain. So they all had something horrible and fishy and smelly. Well, they didn't actually, but felt like that. I had no food, and all I had all evening was a raspberry and rhubarb pressé. But it was very enjoyable. So they didn't charge me anything. They said, no, we'll buy you a drink, Anne. Yeah, and that's it really. The books I've been reading, well, actually, I've listened to 2 books since I last spoke to you. I don't think I've read another book since, and that was The Guest List by Lucy Foley, that was very popular either last year or the year before. Very unlikable characters. It was a bit long, I thought. I listened to it on audio. And it was okay. Yeah, maybe I would have enjoyed it more if I could have read it faster. Because I think that sometimes, I've had some audiobooks and I'm getting used to them, but I find some are very enjoyable and I'm quite happy to go along with the flow. But some of them I feel like, you know, oh, I could listen to it at 1.5 speed, I suppose. But then you're a bit, Sparrow's back again. They're looking for tiny little bugs and stuff, aren't they? Get time to replace the fat balls. They might stop trying to come in the house. And then the other book that I borrowed through BorrowBox, the local library service app thing, was again an ebook, was I Found You by Lisa Jewell. I've read The Family Upstairs that Penny lent me, which was okay. It was, when I first looked about what it was about, I didn't want to read it, but actually it was fairly fast paced, so I got through it okay. So I'd heard good reviews about I Found You, but I thought it was too long, too predictable and fairly repetitive. And things happen there, and I know that human nature, you know, people don't behave how you can expect them to, but I thought some of it was a bit unbelievable. So it didn't really appeal to me, I'm afraid. So I wouldn't not recommend it if, you know, people want to read it, because it's got some really good reviews online. But for me, it wasn't my favourite, and what I ended up doing is pressing next chapter or next track, and going along, speeding along it just to find out, catch up with what had been happening. So I sort of probably listened to the first sort of 3.5 hours, and I thought, I'm fed up with this. And then I just whizzed through it it took me an hour to get to the next, you know, I don't know, not even that, I don't think, about 30 minutes to get to the next 3.5 hours. And I don't know if it's because I am used to reading the same genre, i.e. crime, all the time, that I don't fall into the books as well if they haven't got sort of a resolution, i.e. somebody gets done for something or other. I don't know, maybe it's that. But either way, yeah, The Guest List and I Found You, I'll listen below, both ebooks, and I need to get some more reading done. I might go outside in a minute actually and read. Oh no, I've got to edit this, haven't I? Okay, Tom's getting the bread out of the oven, the balm cakes. They're made with milk instead of water, so you end up with lovely soft rolls. Hair clip ideas, thank you. I had 3 main ones that I've noticed anyway. That was a bookmark, which I think is a really good idea. I'd have to cover the bottom with I'd have to cover the ends of the clips with something, and somebody suggested clear nail varnish. In fact, a couple of people suggested nail varnish to me to stop it ripping the pages, and I might have to let them give or stick them onto something to become a bookmark. I think it might be easier rather than clipping it over the pages, but that's a good idea. A brooch, Leslie said a brooch. I like the idea of that as well because I could see it. I've got some lovely brooches, and one of the reasons I don't wear them is if I'm driving, then my seatbelt's coming over that way, and if I'm out and about, which is when I'd wear a brooch, then I've got a crossbody bag on at all time, and they go from left to right. So I tend not to put them on when I should because I'm worried about them getting knocked, you know. But I have got some brooch bags, and I might investigate that. I quite like that idea. Or perhaps get something, a couple more in toning colours with whatever I've got, and make it slightly bigger. And then finally, the headband, which is, I think I'd alluded to before, I was thinking of doing, and yeah, a few people said that as well. Thought it'd be a good idea, but as it's pointed out to me, you can't see a headband when you're wearing it, you know. And I don't always look in the mirror at myself, not always, you know. I wasn't going to wear any makeup because it's so hot, and I put a little bit of powder on, and I've put a little bit of highlight on my eyes. My eyes look like headlights. It shines a bit more than I thought it would. Sorry if you get getting flashes, thinking, what's that? It's my eyes. Look into my eyes. I'm going now because when I get silly, that's the time to go, isn't it? So, yes, tomorrow I'm going to Cheltenham with Liz to meet my sister and sister-in-law to go to, hopefully, Mowgli, the Indian street food place, which sounds delicious. I've looked at the menu. And it looks like they might do small plates of things, so hopefully we can have like a mini feast of stuff. I haven't seen Juliet for ages in the flesh. Talk to her occasionally on Zoom. I'm useless at even staying in touch with my own family. And then, so that's going to be interesting because it'll be really, really hot. So I'm going to wear my new top I got from Marks and Spencer's, the ones with the angel sleeves. Hope I don't take off. Then I haven't got any other plans for the week. Mum is making me some new trousers, which I will show you, and they're a beautiful green colour. I got the fabric from Empress Mills, and if it suits me, because I'm struggling to wear my linen trousers at the moment, if I can wear it, if it's functional for me, I should say, then I shall order a couple more colours. And Mum said she's happy to make me trousers. I know I should do it myself. And also, we've cut out the pecker jacket, and Mum has done more or less. I went for a fitting the other day, the fitting for the pecker, and I think I said to Mum, if I've got 3 of them, I know it sounds greedy, but if I find a pattern that suits me when I'm sat in the chair and I can get on and off, you know, I'm looking for smartness rather than warmth, because I've got a couple of anoraks to wear, you know, puffer jackets and things, then that'll be nice. And she found this lovely red material that's like, it looks like it's shot like a taffeta, but it isn't. It's heavier than that. Probably a polyester type thing. Washed it, a load of purple dye came out. But very, very nice. It's red on the top and purple on the bottom and beneath. So I'd wear it the red side out. It's like a burgundy colour. Yeah, so we might have that soon. And then, if that works, if I can wear it and it, you know, can get on and off easily, then we'll look to make the wool one and one more, I think. Yeah, maybe needle cord or something. Don't know. It's got to be something that, yeah, I can use, you know. It's exciting because I haven't had a smart jacket for absolutely donkey's years. Right, speaking of jackets, makes me feel a bit hot. I'm going to go finish my drink and go and edit you. I will see you very soon, hopefully in about a fortnight. I hope you're okay, that you're not getting too sticky in the heat, you know. Look after yourself, stay hydrated. Yeah, and I'll see you soon. You know where to contact me, get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, bye bye.